welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm kidding out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that? Hey!
This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HD Photo Hub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HD Photo Hub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. We both have benefited from creating content at our shoots for social media. Today, we're going to talk to you about what it is that we do and how we do it and what we recommend and don't recommend for creating social content to stay engaged with your clients and grow and get more clients.
Yes. As you know, I've been actively using social media forever. What feels like forever, to get clients. It's been my number one lead source for new clients, and it is a great way to connect with people, to present yourself as a person, not just a business, and to interact and stay top of mind with your clients.
Totally.
Touts,
my goats.
Totally. But yeah, I mean, social media works. That's the reason why Neal and I do it so heavily. And not to mention, it's fun. Like it is fun to make quirky little reels. It's fun to get your agents out there. It's one of those things that agents are being told that they need to do all the time. So if you are doing it and you're doing it well, your clients are going to look to you as an educational source or someone that they could potentially learn something from, which is great. If you can be a resource for them, you know, let them know how you do it or, you know, how to post a reel or something. It just adds value to your clients, which is always wonderful to add.
Yeah. And I feel like a big part of it, it's a little secret sauce that when you do some content and you include your agents in it, it's like an additional value to them that you even cared to do it. And, you know, for like what I do for a lot of the little stories or just simple things I do that are quickly put together and edited and I just tag them in it, you know, they're not getting charged for that. But it's something that's different that I do that they actually look forward to. So kind of a secret sauce. They enjoy working with you and they're like, oh, we're going to do something funny today for a reel or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, let's keep that in mind. And they always get a kick out of it. So
yeah, you're way better than I am about doing that, like incorporating your clients into it. I haven't done that nearly as much as you have. Like you're really good at that. It's fun.
It is fun. It's totally fun. And they kind of, it makes it more of an experience. They're kind of looking forward to like, what silly thing are we going to come up with today, Neal? And it doesn't always happen. I just go organically for a lot of that stuff. But sometimes there's something, and if you just have the intention to be paying attention to something that could be fun for a silly little reel, it's great. But even if you're not like doing a funny, creative thing, one of the things I do, and now as a part of a package, is even just getting some additional content for them that is a little quick clip on their phone even of them just doing some lifestyle stuff. And whether you charge for that or not, it's up to you. But even doing that, if you're like, hey, let's just get a little clip of you in this, like go ahead and, you know, wash your hands at the sink if it's this beautiful kitchen or something like that and dry your hands off with a towel. A simple thing like that, like, hey, you can use that for a post. They're like, what? Oh, cool. And you'll give them a quick idea. Like maybe the caption would be, you know, imagine yourself cleaning this kitchen, whatever. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. Okay. Or sometimes I'll go, do you want me to just create it and post it and I'll just collaborate us both on it? And they're like, yeah, okay, awesome. Because like you said, they know they should be doing content. So if you're giving them this, you're helping them. They're like, oh, thank God.
Right? Like,
I did something. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many of my clients I've had, they're like, oh, social media, I know I should be doing it better. And they're like, oh, you're so good at posting on social media. I'm like, yeah, because my assistant does it for me. I don't do it. I mean, I do all my stories, which I pretty much only did one day this week in stories because I've been busy.
Yeah.
You fall on and off, but like,
Me
I'm
too.
not, I'm only consistent because I've set up systems to keep me consistent. Otherwise I wouldn't be either. It's not something that's really easy to just do on the fly. It's easy when you're not busy, but the moment you get busy, that's the first thing that falls off. So
Absolutely.
consistency is definitely key
I
and setting up
agree.
those systems. Yeah.
And if I don't walk in with that at top of mind, like, oh, let's not forget to get something today for them,
Hmm.
it will just disappear and I'll be getting back to the car and go, ah, why didn't I think of that? I did it
Right.
at a shoot the other day. Was doing this shoot. There was just a lot going on. And normally I would have at least, even if I had nothing but my cell phone, I would have at least propped it up somewhere just to get a clip of us working. If nothing else, if you got a clip of them working and you tag them in that, it doesn't have to be fancy. You put a
Mm.
caption that says, working on new content and you tag them, they show that they're working, they're doing something, you're working, and it's beneficial to everybody. But I forgot that time. I was so overwhelmed with like, there was a bunch of people. There was like one, two, three, four, five, six people, a baby, and it was a lot, to do. And so I forgot. And after I was like, oh, why did I not get, because it was such fun stuff. So at the end, after a couple people had left, I got some content, but I wished I had got some when everybody was there. So
Yeah. Dang it.
if you're not intentional, it'll fall real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just having it top of mind and knowing that, like, okay, this week I'm going to focus on getting content at my shoots. And it
Right.
doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, there's
Mm-mm.
so many people that get hung up on the fact, like, I don't want to be on camera, right? Like, I don't look good today. I don't feel good today. Like, I just don't want to do it. When you don't even have to put your face out there all the time, you can just do these reels where you're talking and the camera's facing something in front of you, like
Hmm.
one of my shooters always sends us the best photos and little video clips of weird stuff that he finds in houses. Like somebody used
Yes.
Velcro to lock a door, and he was like, "This is an interesting lock." I know. I'm like, "What? That's so weird." You wouldn't be able to open it though. I mean, if it's like a bedroom door, like
Oh my
it would be
gosh.
tough. Anyways,
That's
it's weird
funny.
stuff. Or like a toilet seat that was too big for the
Yeah.
toilet. And it was like, when good enough is good enough, when the realtor says good enough is good enough was the
Mm.
tag. So we've made little reels and stuff out of just
Yeah.
random things we found in houses. So many times I'll find inspirational sayings or like beautiful artwork that I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. And I need to share
Mhm.
this, or
Yeah.
something funny you know, um, there was one about like I love to shoot. Well, I used to love to shoot guns. I haven't really shot guns in a long time, but when I was going through my gun phase, I saw a sign and it was like, "Never mind the dog, beware of owner." And it was like a barrel of a gun pointed at you, like a
Yep.
drawing of one. And I took
Yeah.
a picture of that and posted. I'm like, I'm ordering that on Amazon. And that was my post on my story. It was like, I'm ordering this on Amazon today.
Yeah.
This is great.
Totally.
So it
Totally. And
doesn't have to be like tailored and crafted and pretty. It can just be like your day-to-day experiences. You're just documenting the journey and your day.
yeah. And it's a good point that it can be video or it can be photo or it can be
Hmm.
multiple photos turned into a video.
Exactly.
Just little moments can be really fun.
Yep.
And you can even, like, I literally, as we were doing this, I'm like, oh, how did I do that before? Because on CapCut, which I have on my phone right here, that I just held up to show the screen, um, they have like auto edit even. So you can just click on a bunch of different clips and see what it comes up. And it actually made a really fun, interesting little montage of that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So it doesn't have to be overly complicated to do and create. If you've got your phone with you, you really don't have an excuse.
exactly. Exactly. So, and these little posts can be posted on your stories,
Hmm.
or you can post them as reels. So you can do either or, really.
Yeah.
Most of mine on location at shoots are in my stories because I feel like they're a little bit more, they're not as polished and professional. Not to say that I have to have polished and professional on my reels, but they just are easier to put up as stories. Takes less work for me. I don't have to write a caption. I don't have to do a cover photo
Mm,
or the hashtags, right? It's just like, oh,
that
quick
is
clip,
true.
post, done.
I do love the stories because they're so easy, and I do dislike creating captions.
Yeah,
So that is
it's a
true. I
whole.
like to just put whatever it is. I'll add the auto captions for the text, which it just does in the program in the Instagram, and yeah, just post it. And I tag somebody and post it. It's really easy. So
Totally. Yeah.
And people they get a kick out of it. And I hear from people sometimes, even you're not getting a lot of engagement on this stuff. I found that even when I'm like, oh, that didn't get a lot of engagement, I was kind of bummed. Somebody will at a shoot go like, oh, I saw that thing you did. That was funny. I love watching the silly things that you do. So you're like, oh, people are paying attention and they do
Hmm.
actually like it. So
Yeah.
even if you're not, you got 10 likes on that thing and 100 views, that's 100 of your clients, if it's a
Right.
story, are,
Yeah.
your followers that saw it. So,
Yeah. So reels are shown to non-followers, to everybody, your current
mhm.
followers and your non-followers, and stories are only shown to the people that follow you. So stories are really where you can nurture your current audience and give them kind of a deeper look into who you are. You're not trying to win them over. You already want them. They want to follow you. They're interested in what you're doing. So, yeah.
And I have seen on some of the stats now, it looks like sometimes the stories are being seen outside of your followers. There's some stat I saw. I was like, wait, what?
Really?
But generally that's the main focus is your main followers are going to be seeing your stories and paying attention to that. And it's a way to keep them engaged and updated and just like it's a nice little like little touch, like reminder that you exist. Is another good reason to do this, right?
Well, now I have to look that up, Neil, because I don't want to tell people the wrong thing. Like, uh-oh. Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah, let's pause for a second. People who are not followers can view your Instagram story, but only if your account is set to public. Here's how it works. Anyone on Instagram can see your stories even if they don't follow you. Discovery. Your stories may appear on the Explore page or under location and hashtags, increasing their reach. Viewer list. You can see who's viewed your story, including non-followers, by swiping up on your story when it's live. Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Because like if I go to a page and I'm not following them, I can view their story,
Yeah. Yeah, so
right?
but it's saying also that it could show up on Discovery. Your stories may appear on Explore page under location and hashtags increasing the reach. So especially if you do
Mm.
locations and hashtags.
Oh, do locations and hashtags, guys. There we go. We
Yeah.
learn something new every day. Neil and I had to pause and research this because I've always heard that you can't like stories just go to your followers, but
Hmm.
Neil said, no, you're wrong, Rachel. And I'm like, I'm never wrong, Neil. Just kidding.
I
I'm
only know
super
because
humble.
my wife first told me I was wrong.
Yeah. You're like, shoot.
Yeah, but Discovery. Your stories may appear on Explore page or under location and hashtags, increasing their reach. So
Okay.
there's a couple ways they could potentially see your stories too, but
Yeah.
generally your followers are seeing your stories mostly. But yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, like I was just saying, if I go to someone's profile and I'm not following them, I can view their story
right.
and check them out and see what they're all about. But
So
it's
long as
not
your account is set to public, right?
right. But I don't think it's going to pop up at the top. You know, at the top of your feed, you see people's the little pink circle around their
Hmm.
profile
Yes.
picture. I don't think it's going to show up there and you would just click through. I don't think it gets suggested if you're not following them.
Right.
I would
I have
say
no
it would
idea.
come up through Discover. I'm going to say that's probably accurate, but I'm not
We're gonna
100%.
go with it. Yeah.
We're going to go with it. I'm just going to tell you false
And in a week it
information.
could
It's
change.
question.
So
Yeah,
just
it
be aware
probably
of that.
will.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So
Okay, anyways, so reels and stories. Generally, stories are meant for your current followers. Nurture them, love them. Just document the process. Super easy. We are going to talk about different ideas and stuff at shoots that you can do, but we're going to start by talking about the necessary equipment to create this.
yeah.
You literally just need a cell phone, but you
Yeah.
can get fancy, right, Neil?
Hmm.
If you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. And I'd say the first thing uh, that I would add from a cell phone is add some kind of selfie stick because it makes it way easier to
Hmm.
film yourself, especially if you're doing content where you're by yourself, because
Yeah,
otherwise you're trying to prop it up on a windowsill and it's not always ideal. If a selfie stick is so much easier, right?
totally. Totally. Yes. And or, the Osmo 5 or 6, whatever, the little stabilizer for your cell phone, that works great too. And then your
Hmm.
footage looks a little bit
Yeah.
better. It looks a
And,
little better, mo better.
and then if you're really looking for more fancier, if you're really going to the higher production value, if you're looking at reels and stuff, or you're just doing something unique where you're farther from a camera, then you probably want some kind of audio for your cell phone too, a little
Yeah,
mic for your
totally.
cell phone.
Or you
But
can get like the little tripod stand that I have. It just literally,
mhm.
it's like the size, I don't know, it's about 12 inches long. It's like a little pole that
Yep.
folds down into itself. And then you pull it up and it's got a little mini tripod stand on the ground and it just sticks right up and has a little spot that my phone clips on. It's about 5 feet tall, 4.5, 5 feet tall. And that one's fantastic because it literally goes in the pocket on my bag, my little cup holder on my bag on the outside. I always have it. And if I want to prop that up in a corner of a room somewhere and put my phone on it and do a time lapse or just film myself shooting something, it's like that's such easy content to get.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
easy.
Like perfect example is like you're just like I've been in an attic that had really low ceiling and I'm in this awkward position in a corner just trying to make it look bigger or, you're standing, over a toilet taking a shot and just trying to get the angle, you squeeze in a corner. Like these are moments where like, oh, I wish I had that little stand so I could get a shot of this. This looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
And those are easy photos or little videos to make a story or a reel, depending what you want to do.
totally. Another thing is just some kind of portable lighting setup. If you want to bring ring lights are fantastic. They're super easy and portable to bring with you. I brought a ring light and an audio kit with me to a house where I knew that I was going to be making some reels at the house. I already asked the agent permission. She said, yeah, go for it. So I did the shoot and then I spent about an hour and a half shooting content for myself and made a handful of reels. And I used my little ring light and it's great because it's cordless, which I love. The Loom Cube one that I have is cordless, which I would highly
Mm,
recommend because cords are a pain in the butt. They are
yeah,
expensive though when they're cordless. But yeah, they're great. They're great. And it's good for just one person and you're close enough to the light source where it actually works. When you try to
right.
use that, I've tried to use it with clients because I thought, oh, this is so easy. I can just use this for recording reels. And it's like, it's not great because you need it pretty close to your subject.
Yeah, if you have to do like two people, so it has to be further back to be out of shot, then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you don't have enough
exactly.
power, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was very sad. So, anywho, or you can get a
I
full.
cried.
I cried really hard now. My client did because he's like, "This sucks. Why am I paying you?" No,
How much did that ring light cost? It sucks.
right? Well, it was $50. That's a lot of money.
It's big money.
Exactly. So, anyways, all of those things you really honestly only need your cell phone, but a good audio kit is always preferred. It just makes it sound more realistic, and you can hold it like it's a microphone, which gives you something to do with your hands. So it's kind of nice
Yeah,
to have that.
cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's it. That's the basic gear.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want this new drone somebody mentioned the other day.
Oh no.
There's a DJI drone, a small one that can actually capture audio
Really?
of you. And it will follow you. So you can walk and talk and this drone will back up and film you. Like almost like having a cameraman and it just removes the propeller noise from the audio that
What?
it takes. And it actually I saw a video on it and I'm like, "What? It actually
Cool.
sounded fine. I couldn't believe it." And I was like,
That's
"That's
awesome.
amazing." And I would love that for a certain like I did a shot the other day of a just for a regular video. The guy was on the porch of a little cottage that was right on the water, and I did the drone flyback, and I had to do the, clap your hands to have a visual cue, and I filmed on another camera to see the visual cue, and that camera had the audio, and I had to, sync them together and match them up visually. That thing I could have just shot it and recorded audio. It would have been so much easier.
Wow.
Um, but anyway, I think that would be the next level thing is get one of those. I forget what DJI that is, but look into it. They're kind of cool. I looked and they were out of stock right now, so.
Of course. Every real estate agent on the planet just bought that.
Yep. Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixl CRM.
Pixel CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixel CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixelcrm.com/STS and you're going to get the first month of Pixel CRM free.
All right, Neil, let's talk about some ideas. Let's give some good ideas of what you could do at a shoot. Give some good examples of things that they could create
Yeah.
easily on site at a listing. But first, before we do that, you want to get permission from the agent.
Yes.
If they're there, just make sure they're okay with you filming, and then let them know, I can tag you if you're interested because that's extra reach for them. And sometimes they like to promote the listings
Yeah,
that way.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you have to break out a form for them like you're working with a client. You just, hey, do you care if we do some behind the scenes content? And they're just like, yeah, sure. That's
Yeah.
all you need.
I've never had anyone say no, to be honest.
Yeah, because they know
So,
they know that all our clients know they got to be on social media. It's like you're just helping them, so they're like, of course, let's do it.
exactly. Exactly.
You might potentially want to show it to them before you post it, and of course, you got to be mindful of the content you get. That make sure it matches their vibe or their brand or whatever. Sometimes you do something you don't want to do something that's negative to the house that they're trying to sell, so you got to be cautious with that kind of stuff. So if you're not sure, maybe run it by them, go, hey, what do you think? Which I will do, like say you just made that story or reel in your phone before you post it. I just do the iPhone screen recording
Mm.
and I'll send them the screen recording like, hey, what do you think? And sometimes they'll be like, oh, that's great, but could we add like a caption that says this? And I'm like, cool. So we're like totally collaborating on it and I'll do that. So
Cool.
yeah, something to keep in mind. But so simple things to do. Most of the time, behind the scenes, you literally just capture what happens. Today, for example, I was at a shoot and I wished I walked in with the camera recording because two of the stagers were there who are a ton of fun. And one was at the door like, hey, and then the other one jumped from like out of where I couldn't see her and she jumped in like, hey, like, and it was like,
Oh,
yay. We're all like excited
hey.
to see each other. Like they're totally fun. So I'm like, oh, I wish I had got that coming in. Like, what a fun
Yeah.
organic thing to capture. But what I did do is they still hadn't staged the deck. So they were putting pillows out and they brought like a table tray thing with like a pitcher and glasses on it. And so I just got a couple clips of them setting that stuff up. And I sometimes will just say things as I'm filming, like, when they left, I said, and Dream Team's leaving, time for photography, and
Yep.
they're like waving and saying stuff when they leave. So I'll just
Hmm.
take those couple clips and splice them together and then just, put a caption that says something like, dream team making me look good. Because they style it, which makes me look good for
Hmm.
photography. And so I'll say something like that, tag them in it. They get a kick out of seeing it. And, it's fun for everybody. And they're like, yay, we got something. Neil did a video, so
Yeah,
um,
that's
that's
awesome.
one example. Yeah.
Of that. Yep. You can record little short clips of the process of you shooting. So, like I was
Hmm.
saying, setting up that tripod in the corner of the room and showing how you shoot a kitchen. You can talk through it and just explain. Like I did a little Tip Tuesday. It's on my highlights, actually. It's very old. It's probably from 2021 or 22. But I say, this is people always ask how we get our photos to look so pretty, and we bracket shoot, and then we take a flash shot, and this is why, and then we blend them together in Photoshop. And I showed them the back of my camera and flipped through all the shots to show them we take a really dark
Hmm.
photo and a little bit lighter, too light, you know, and explained the exposure stacking
Yeah.
and all that. So, and that one did really well. A lot of people liked that and engaged with it. And they were like, so it doesn't have to be, it's just really, people are interested in photography. A lot of people are. There's a lot of photographers out there that were just hobbyists who just do it for fun, and a lot of your clients kind of dabble in it, or they have family members who dabble in it. So it is a cool skill. If you can share any of your knowledge with the public, they'll love that. And then just kind of teaching them how you do what you do shows that you are kind of that industry leader and gives you that validation that you're actually out doing the job and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Um, some of my agents now look forward to it and they'll sometimes have ideas when we show up.
Mm.
Like one of my agents just on a shoot was I have a lot of times I'll have my big Pelican trunk that I roll in with. And she's like, "Ooh, what if we get a clip of us both walking and we play the song, They See Me Rolling, They Hating." And so we did it. Like we messed around for like 15 minutes outside the listing trying to do our coolest walk with the camera on the ground. So we like walked over it, and we just made it slow mo when we put that song on it and she loved it.
That's awesome.
And we've done other ones where we've done like this is how we do it, and I've just caught them. The same client was cleaning the windows and vacuuming, and she was like dancing while she vacuumed, and people loved seeing her in that light.
Hmm.
This behind the scenes because they see always the real estate and a lot of the polished professional stuff that she posts, which is great too. But this showed like a little of the personality and that how much she loved what she did, and people like love that. Tons of comments about how fun it was seeing her cleaning that property and whatever. So, and it took us like all of I don't know 5 minutes, and then there you go. So you got some content that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Another good one too is showing before and afters. I like doing these. I'll take a photo of like the room, or you can say like cell phone versus professional photo, and take a shot with your cell phone and then show
Mhm.
the final edited photo on the next slide.
Yeah,
those are easy.
or raw versus edited, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
or even just get a clip of you. I did a clip recently, just a quick video clip just of me getting the time lapse, and I just said shooting a time lapse with the camera was behind me doing its thing.
mm,
There's a post, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
And another thing about these stories is the agents in my region have a rule that they can only post about that property 24 hours before it goes live. So if they say anything about that property, it has to be live in 24 hours, or they could be getting a fine or something like that. But that rule does not apply to me.
Mm,
So that time lapse of the house behind me, with me saying listing and I tag them in it,
hmm
I've had I've had a couple clients get leads before it was even live because of some of these stories that we did that kind of got around that rule. And so they kind of like that too.
Hmm.
So
I love
yeah.
that. Yeah. I know I think we can pre-market properties now. There's some, as
Mm,
long as the homeowner is okay with it, you can do
mm.
it. There's some new rule here. We used to not be able to do it, and I've seen more and more people doing it. Something like that. I should probably read into that, but
Rach, did you know that listeners can use the code STS to get 10 free full deliveries? That means 10 complete marketing kits with HD Photo Hub.
yes, and that includes property websites, videos, flyers, and more absolutely free.
And what I love is I can set it up so that the clients have to pay before they can even download their photos.
Oh, that's the best. No more chasing invoices. And the online ordering has saved me so much time with back and forth text and emails. It's just automated.
Use the code STS to get 10 complete marketing kit downloads now. Yeah, and there's regionally different rules for different, MLS or whatever they are called in
Yeah.
your area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, lots of good
And
stuff
then,
you can do.
so, another fun one is sometimes we just have a funny idea for something silly, and I'll make something a little more complicated. The other day, I showed up to a listing with one of my OG clients, and she loves having fun with behind the scenes stuff. And she, it was the beginning of spring, so we were just like an hour north, so there was still some snow on the ground, which we were already had warm weather and weren't expecting snow. I still had my boots because it was still mucky weather and I'll be traipsing around a property, and so I had good boots on because I knew I'd still be walking through mud because it's still very wet after all the snow melts. She showed up in these like fancy little cute flats that were the worst shoes to wear, and the whole front yard and driveway was covered with slush and or snow. So I just had an idea like, oh, this would be funny. What if we just set up the camera and we do a clip of, what do you do when you show up, basically her going like, oh no, snow. And I look at her, she looks at me and I go, then I like give you a piggyback ride in the rest of the way, like, and would do something about teamwork or whatever.
Mhm.
And that turned into, I had a better idea and I was like, oh no, I have a better idea. Let's do that shot where you almost walk in the snow and then go like no, and you just like shake your head like and I look at you and I look back, and then what we did was we cut to a shot of the front of the house, and I rolled my roller trunk and she was holding onto the handle on the roller trunk in front of the camera, rolling her in through the snow that way. And so that was just a fun silly one to
That
do
one
too.
was so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see
So
that on Neil's Instagram. What's your Instagram, Neil?
the HYN Group. Yeah, you can find us. But
Follow
anyway, yeah.
Neil.
So you know, and we get a kick out of it. We just have fun doing these things for
Yeah.
the people who are up for it. Not everybody's up for it. Some people are
Right.
like, nope, not happening. Like, no problem. But if
Yep.
they're up for it, they get a kick out of it.
Yep. Another good one that I do that I've done in the past too, like if I'm at a house and I love it and I'm like, ooh, this needs design photography, I will put my cell phone in portrait mode and take
Mm-hmm.
some detail shots of the house and post something like shooting this amazing home in Bellevue
Ah,
today and just post, and then
yes.
I'll tag the agent and I'll post those. And people, it's just kind of showing your creative eye. I mean, they're not professionally edited or anything. They're just shot on your cell phone, but it's those details that kind of really pop out. You don't really have to edit them
Yeah.
a lot of times. They turn out
I
great.
Yeah, and then even from your stills, you can like I've done it a couple times in CapCut. They had some templates in there, and
Hmm
the templates, some of them have music too, and they'll cut automatically to the music. So I took stills. This one listing, I really liked the photos because the light was just right coming through, and I thought they looked really pretty. And so I made that into, and that one I created as a reel because I really like the work. So instead of just a story, I made it a reel because I thought I'd like it to stick around a little longer. And it was actually did a great edit to the music. Um, and yeah, so even from the content, even without doing any extra work, you can make a reel or a story, and you can still, even though the agents are not in it, you can still tag that agent in that content. And again, they're going to get something if they choose, or if you want to collaborate, is what I do a lot of times too, so that it will then show up as, on their feed as their work too.
Mhm.
And then we'll share our audience together, so they get more visibility from my audience, I get more visibility from their audience. That's a fun thing to do too. So yeah.
That's awesome. You can also gather client testimonials, which I have not done this enough. I've done two of these and I've asked them for a video testimonial and I've posted one was one of my, well, she started out as a client, but she's turned into a really good friend. So that one was easy to ask for.
Mhm.
And then the other one was a guy who was doing a video for him, like a talking head video thing. And I was like, hey, would you mind giving us a testimonial? And he was like, Focus Media Collective is the best. And he did like the rock on hand signs, like surfer dude. And I was like, do you mind like going into a little bit more detail? Because
You're
I'm like,
hardcore.
they're awesome. They're the best in Seattle. And I was like, oh, that's all you're going to say? Like, can you expand a little? So, anyways, good opportunity to get a video testimonial, which video testimonials are way better than written because you can feel the emotion, you can see the person. They're actually getting on camera, which
Yeah,
takes a little time and effort. So, those are gold if you can get those two.
totally. And I think too, one thing I really want to hit home, I know we kind of said it already, but I do feel like this is a big difference, is when you're just doing posts that are just your work.
Mm.
I mean, your audience is other realtors. Your clients are realtors. And what they really pay attention to, think about it. If you were in the little league, who would you pay attention to? You'd pay attention to the majors, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of them are looking up to the agents that you're working with, and they want to do the listings that they're doing. So when they see a post that you collaborated with them, they're thinking, I want to work with these guys too, right? Because they want to be like them. There is kind of this like keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing, and agents, they pay attention to other agents.
Hmm.
So when you're doing these collaborations, they're seeing that, and then they're going to go, well, who made that? Who did that fun thing? Or who's the guy being silly in the background? And they're like, that looks like fun working with them. Maybe I want to work with them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, I
more
think
so
you're.
than just nice photos.
Well,
Nice
yeah. And
photos.
it's like, if you think about it, if you're on Instagram and let's use the example of like a, oh gosh, I can just think of soda pop. I don't know why I'm thinking of soda. It's so weird. I don't even drink soda.
I love
So
that you
there's a
say
company
pop.
that sells soda pop. Okay.
Soda pop.
Soda pop, because that's what it is. Do you call it pop or soda, Neil?
Just soda. Yeah.
Okay. I call it pop. So it must be a east-west thing. I don't know. Anyways, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
different
It's
areas.
freaking soda pop today. Okay. So we have soda pop account and all they post is cans of their soda pop. There's no life to it. And then
Right.
their competitor is constantly posting cool videos of like a guy that just ripped on a dirt bike track and stopped and his hot girlfriend just handed him a soda pop and he chugs it. Like, which one are you going to watch and be more engaged with? Right?
Right.
It's like, show me the people, show me the
Yeah.
interaction, show me the life behind the brand. Like, what makes me want to follow you? Like,
Yeah.
why am I looking to engage with this? And why would I even want to stay on your content? Am I getting anything out of it? Am I entertained? Am I learning? So keep those things in mind when you're posting stuff. That's why when I see inspirational quotes, I always post them because I'm like, oh, this is going to help someone today. And it almost without a doubt between that and my when I post myself working out or doing exercises, so many people are like, oh, thank you. You motivated me to work out today. I really didn't want to do it. And I'm like, I'm glad I helped one person today, or like the inspirational
Yeah.
quotes. People will say,
I
oh, I
love it.
really needed to see that today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you never know where people are in their journey. Like, not everyone has good days every day. So,
And here's the other piece of it. This I think is also in StoryBrand, which we talked about in another episode as well. If you haven't
mhm.
checked out StoryBrand, check it out, the book or the audiobook. But when you're just posting your work, you're just doing the me.
Mhm.
When you're posting the interior designers, when you're posting the agents and the good work that they do and the fun that they are, you're you're being the assistant, you're highlighting your
Mhm.
clients, you're doing more, you're going above and beyond, that it's not just about you. Because if you're even just in a conversation and you're just talking about me, 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 how long till everybody tunes out?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Okay, one last piece of content that you can post is interactive content. So you can use polls or Q and A's
mm,
on stories. I believe in Reels as well, but stories is usually where I do polls and Q and A's and stuff.
yes.
But you can say, do you prefer, like, let's say you shot two different styles of homes in one day. One had a white kitchen and one had a warmer tone kitchen. Take a picture of each and then take a poll. What do you prefer? Warm tones or
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
cool
totally.
tones, right? And then by them interacting with that, it actually pushes that story post out to more people to view it. So you get more engagement and it pushes it. You get pushed up to the top on the top of people's feeds. More people will see you in stories.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Comparing two different properties you shot in the same day or something like also
Hmm.
highlights that you're working and you're out there doing a thing, but
Right.
in a more less direct way. I
Yeah.
like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, you could ask anything like, do you like Twilight conversions? Or, what do you think of a Twilight conversion photo? That's a controversial one because some people hate them. Like, there's
Hmm.
photographers who won't even offer them because they're so bad.
Hmm.
And yeah, you guys have heard me say this, but I'm just dead honest. The other day I had a client that asked about it and I was like, well, they're not great. And she kind of laughed at me. I was like, well, they're not. I mean, they're fine. They're good on a budget, but Twilight, the
Yeah.
real Twilight is obviously better, but they do a fine job on a budget. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, that's a good question because some people are very like hard no.
Yeah, totally. Anything
Very.
controversial for sure.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Any little secret, any little tip, any
Hmm.
little if something that helped. And that's the other thing. You can do the helping things in this story, like, and you can also highlight the little things that you do differently as you do your walkthrough. Or yeah, but definitely tips like, hey, if you're an agent, one little tip is, you know, maybe do this if you're prepping your home, or tell your client this because it'll help the photos. Like match your color bulbs when you first get your client. Tell them, hey, don't have mixed color bulbs in your
Yeah.
lamps because it's not going
Right.
to help the photography.
Yeah.
And
Or if
they'll
there's
appreciate
like
that.
Totally. Or if there's like garbage cans out front, be like, oh, don't forget to move your garbage cans on photo day as you're pushing the garbage cans in. Set up your tripod,
Mhm.
something like that. Super easy. Speaking of, I should make that reel. That would be way too easy to make.
Yeah.
I'm getting so inspired from this episode, Neil. Thank you.
I just did one for spring. I found myself just picking up so many sticks and throwing them out of the yard that I'm like,
Oh, nice.
I need to film this. So
Yeah.
it turned into this other listing. I was like rolling tires out of the yard and like crazy things, but I turned it into like what I actually do in the spring. And I was like,
Mm.
moving all the things. I was like basically a mover. I was uncovering a fountain. I was, all kinds because it was winter proofed, and I was like, we should probably take that tarp off. Do you think? Because it
Yeah.
looks horrible. And they're like, oh, you don't mind? I'm like, yeah, no, let's do it. It was only a
Mhm.
$2.5 million house, maybe,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
but cool. Yeah, start working on stories. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just start trying. Even if you just film some clips so that you have them in your back pocket so that you could post something, it's better than not doing anything at all. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
if you want some inspiration, go follow the HYN Group or Focused Media Collective or Grow with Rach and Neal. Neil and I have
that's right.
been trying to make more of an effort to post more. Oh, we changed our Instagram, by the way, listeners.
Oh, good point.
If you were curious where we went, I think we mentioned it on one episode, but we probably should mention it on everyone,
Yes.
Neil. So yes, our new handle for Instagram for Shooting the Shit podcast is Grow with Rach and Neal, and it's
Yep.
Neal. We had to switch it because we were being shadow banned because we had a cuss word in our title, so we weren't getting very much reach. So, anyways, we are trying to post more on that site of our behind the scenes every day, so you guys can kind of get a look into what we are doing on a daily basis. And Neil, I would like to challenge you this
Mm,
weekend to
mm.
post something not real estate related that you do this weekend. Maybe it's with your family or something you're doing. I'm challenging
That's
you.
a great last final thought, right? Because people like people. And so
Yeah,
even we tell this to real estate agents all the time, it doesn't always have to be real estate. If you're just out shopping for clothes, people are going to be attracted to you because you have share the same taste. That's a great
right,
point.
right.
Something not real estate. I love it.
Yeah. And we are shooting this the day that we're launching it, this is launching tonight. We're shooting it this morning. I am going to ride my bike and edit this after this episode. So habit stacking, which is fantastic. Two
Yeah.
things in one. Yep. So this weekend I'm doing something fun. So you'll have to tune into Instagram and check it out to see what I'm up to with my children this weekend. I'm super pumped. I can't wait.
Oh, cool. Great. And
All
I'm
right.
probably editing all weekend, so I'll just have to find time to leave my house for a minute to do something that isn't real estate
We're
related.
gonna get a reel of or a story post of Neil sleeping. Like
Yes,
this is what
that's
I
the
did
thing.
in my spare time.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Cool.
thanks guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.